So in this video, I just want to share a example of a lab I did that's similar to a lab I did in Packet Tracer for CCNA. So here we have, you can see here I have a topology that's already on, so I've already booted it up. So let me just click on this. And we can see that several nodes here. I've got several routers, and actually let me bring up my ink to go. Maybe that will help me out a little bit as I do this. So I have this part of my network, which is running OSPF over here. So I've got 3 routers. Okay. Then I've got my edge router here as a static default route to the ISP, and they got a static default route pointing to the 10 network here. Nothing much going on, just running OSPF. I have some clients here, have a server here, and then just some unmanaged switches. All right, so I think that's about that. But what I did want to share with you, let me actually move this out of the way. There we go. Yes, I want to move that to another screen. So a few things I want to mention. So first of all, let me click on nodes here, lab info nodes, and it shows me all of my nodes. The way I booted this lab up, by the way, is I was at dashboard and I started the lab right here. But I could have also gone to lab info nodes and then selected all these nodes. But I want you to be aware of something. Oh, it's interesting. So notice when I select all these nodes, we're not careful. Look, this node was not selected. And this happened to me. That's why I wanted to share this with you. Let's kind of move this up here. What I want to do is notice down here, rows per page, 10. Oh, what if I click all? So notice my server was not in there. There's the server. Okay, so default that I have 11 devices and it was only showing 10. So that's just something you need to be careful about. Okay, so a few of the things I just want to show you here as far as my devices here, like my desktop. Oh, I don't want to, here, let me click off lab info. Here we go. I want to actually go to the desktop here. I'm on desktop 1. Edit config, and just from a previous video I showed you, I had already edited this script, so it included the IPv4 address configuration and the default gateway information. So I've actually done that for all these devices, including the server. Okay, so just something to be aware of. That's nice to be able to start up like that. If I want to go to one of these routers now, so there I go. Go to this router here, open up the console. Yes, I know iOS V. So this is an interesting banner message, and it's actually in the running config. When you look at the running config, that's just telling you this is strictly for evaluation, demonstration, education, whatever. It's for CML. So Cisco is my, see, it asked me again. It actually puts it in my banner. And then that's my console password, enable class. That's what I do show run here. And I find this a little interesting. It's coming. All right, so here's my configuration. I'm running OSPF. There's my IPv4 addresses, OSPF. So notice, here's the banner. It actually put it in there 3 times. So I think it's for different types of logins. By the way, for this settings, I can actually got some settings here. So the console size, rows, load, lines, default font size. So I can play with that a little bit if I want it to be a little bigger. Let's see, that makes it a little easier to see. I got to remember that. I'm learning this as I go, so that's a lot nicer, especially with Rick's eyes. So I've got my devices all here. I do show IP interface brief, show IP route. You can see that I'm running OSPF. I believe I've got it configured where I can ping this server. And if I remember the IP address correctly, it's 192.168.1.88, I believe. Yes, that actually worked. I can go to my desktop. Let's say go here, console, Cisco, IF config, and we can verify, yes, my configuration, okay, from the edit config. Oh, where's that edit config? What happened there? Oh, there it goes. Took a second, got scared there. There's the edit config. I know it's there. Came up with the address. Let's go back to the console. Okay, and I can ping 168.1.88. Let's go ahead and ping that server. That's pinging well. All right, so that's kind of nice. And I can add things to, I don't know, I could actually add commands to the router. I'm not going to show too much more here. I do want to show that, I've mentioned this before, we can easily copy and paste. Let's say I wanted to configure, let me go to configuration. Maybe I wanted to do something like, I don't know, configure SSH, because right now I've got, what do I have? Telnet configured on these routers. We move up here, we can actually see that. Yeah, I got a telnet. And if I wanted to, I could just copy in my script from here, for example. See, I have a lot of the script stuff here. If I want to copy, paste, just make it nice and simple. Move this out of the way here. Oh, that was something else. Where's my there we go. I can maybe username. Paste that in there as well. Username admin, secret, SSH admin, looks good. I'm going to do, let's see if this should take okay. So for the lines, I did transport input all. I did all instead of SSH because I do have telnet configured. Login local. And I think the last thing I probably need to do is generate my crypto key. Okay, we'll make it 1024. It'll take a second here. All right, so I've got SSH configured. I'm just going to pause for a moment and then we'll go over to the desktop. Okay, so I just configured SSH on the router. Now I'm going to attempt to log in from the desktop. And you can see the command that I'm using here. SSH-L admin and all of this long string. This is what the other side is expecting and the IP address. So let's go ahead and do that. And the password, SSH-ADMIN. And I'm in. So this was the username. And then the password was SSH admin. You can't see it, of course, but I needed all this to get in. Now I am remotely connected. Enable class. Yeah, so I'm in. I'm SSH'd into my router. So let me go ahead and exit out of this and close my foreign host. Okay, so at this point, just as a reminder, what I'm going to do here, actually, let me go ahead and I am going to copy this running config. Start. Whoops, that's not the right place to do it, is it? Copy run to start. I don't think there's any other changes I made besides that router. So at this point, what I can do is when it comes back, there we go. Looks good. Okay, I'm gonna go click off this. There we go. I kind of got to click and then click off any of this. I get lab info, notes. By the way, I did mention this right before, but links, I can click on a link here and I can see the link. I know I mentioned that in the previous video, but that's what I just want to mention. Okay. All right, click off again, lab info nodes. And this is where I can stop. I can stop here. I'm showing all my devices, or I can go to the dashboard and I can just stop it right here, either place or show list. And I can stop here. I can click right here. This is the lab, not my, no, that's not the lab, right here, my on, there we go. The OSPF lab, I can click here and I can stop it this way. So there's multiple ways I can stop this. Okay, I think what I will do is I'll go back into the list lab. So just click on the topology to go back into a lab. I will click on nodes. I will select all the nodes. And are they all selected? Is this one selected? Ah, see it defaults. That's interesting. See it defaulted to 10 down here. So it did not include the server. There we go. So that's interesting. When you go back to the dashboard, you need to, and then come back to the lab, this changes. All right, learning as we go. I'm going to go ahead and stop. Okay, looks like everything stops fairly quickly. And dashboard, we can see that our OSPF lab, yes, it's off. State is off. We're good to go. All right, hope you enjoyed. Thanks.